Will we crumble as a society if we continue with these modern values and modern traditions that we are living by and starting to establish? Well, I should say have established. This is my fifth time trying to record something, so hopefully this comes out. I have my eyes closed and I'm walking in circles, so. But because I see it now, what sparked all this is that I watched this Felicia Rashad interview on The Breakfast Club, and she was talking about how when she was dean at Howard, I believe, the thing that kind of like rubbed her wrong was how some of the girls or women were dressing. She called it strips of clothing. And that resonated so much because just the other day, I was in the mall and I saw this lady dressed in tights or whatever the case may be. But it was like full body. And she worked somewhere. And it was like super, super tight. You could see everything. And I know people think like as a man, we should get excited. We should be like, yeah, whoo, we should like those type of things. And don't get me wrong, some of us do, and I appreciate it to an extent. But the thing about it is, I believe that's all in like carnality, and that's just all animal instincts. When we start thinking deeper and when we start going deeper into the matter, would I want my wife to dress like that? No. If I'm looking for someone to be a wife, would I want her dressed like that? No. Would I feel comfortable with my mother dressed like that? No. Would I want my daughter or a niece, dressed like that? No. How would I feel when someone like that is around me, that's in relation to me, dressed like that? The tension that comes from that. Is that, something that we should always be wanting? And that's something that I touched in the video. It's like, with all these modern things that we're going on now, I'm expanding more now. It seems like it's all rooted in attention. It's all rooted in something that somebody was missing when they were growing up. So this is the way that they express it. It's from attention. And I know the thought could be, well, you're, just pointing out what women are doing. What about men? And it all roots from the same thing. It all roots the same thing. The way women act and dress, the same way men act and dress, it all roots from the same thing. The media, the powers that be, blah, 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 blah. The same thing that we've always been saying. Well, the people who have woken up, the people who make money off of it all, the same people who make money off of it all would not want their people just like that. And which to me is just shocking. So I take a step back and I say, will we survive with these, modern values and modern traditions? Everybody says they want it like it was the old days. They want it like the old days. We want love like the old days. We want this like the old days. So obviously what's going on isn't working. So my thing is, what's the hang up? What's the hold up? We've seen it time and time again that it works. It's when independence started taking its place as the thing everybody should do. Is when things started to crumble. It's when people looked out for self, not for community, not for family. It was for self. And that then led to loneliness. Then led to seeking attention. Well, I should say loneliness, then trying to find love, but can't find love or can't find something solid. Then that led to just merely wanting attention. I feel like the reason why a lot of this modern things go on is because we've gotten so far removed from divine. Look at everything else in nature. That's still rooted in its divine nature. It's working in perfect order. And then you look at us, we're supposed to be the superior beings as far as humans. And we all messed up. Everything. Like I said in the video a while back, it sucks having traditional values, because I grew up in I would say, modern and traditional, but it was deeply rooted in traditional values, But both parents cooked, both parents cleaned, both parents worked, It split the bill. Which how I see it should be. Is it because that's how I grew up in it? Somewhat. But then I take a step back and I say, how do I see life? And that's how I see it. Both people can do this. I believe it's a joint effort. You can have a captain, you can do this, but it's a joint effort in order to win the championship. What we got to do to win the championship. To me, that's how it should be. It's a joint effort. Now, people say, oh, it shouldn't be a teammate or it shouldn't be a part. It's a joint effort. Just like to make a machine work, all parts have to work. So now when we live in this modern society, it's all about selfishness. It's all about me, I. What can you do for me? If you can't do nothing for me, you don't matter. So that means that one part in this whole machine is more significant than anything. It's not going to be able to function. That's why we're living in dysfunction. Like I said, traditional values was rooted in community, family. You thought about your family before you wore what you wanted to wear. Now people go outside and wear what they want to wear and act how they want to act because there's no consequences or repercussions falling back on their family, making their mama look bad, making their daddy look bad, making their cousin look bad, making their grandmama looking bad. You can't go down the street acting how you wanted to act back in the day. Because everybody going to tear your ass up from the time you act, from where you acting up all the way to where you got home. It's crazy because my daddy like that. My daddy Nigerian. And they don't play. They grew up in community. Like I said, traditional values, community. So if your parents knew each other and you acting up, you automatically got permission to beat that ass. Because you making your friend's family look bad. You see what I'm saying? I had a friend, we both played soccer, and he was acting up. And my daddy pulled his card at practice. Dropped his ass off at home and told his mama. And his mama told his ass up. Community. We need that. See, now everybody's scared. Now we don't have no community. Now it's don't touch my child. It's my child. No, it's our child. The community raising your child. It's like people want a trophy for doing it by themselves. You don't get no trophy for that. Because at the end of the day, look at what happens. Statistics is not going to lie. Statistics is not lying. Numbers don't lie. Truth don't lie. No matter how much you want to cover it up or look the other way or deny it or come up with your own truth and live in your own narrative, the truth will be the truth. We need community. Look at everybody else. Everybody else has community. When a community crumbles, that's when it's able to be infiltrated and be ran off a narrative. I ain't lying. Last thing we had was what? The civil rights or Black Panthers and all that, right? After that crumbled, we had no more community. Nigga, guess what happened? Y'all know what happened. You can fill it in the blanks. That's when you had the dope. And that's when the MTV started popping. Because now they can build your own narrative. Everybody else has community. When you have community, you're allowed to control your own narrative. Politically, via the media, news, socially. You're allowed to control your own narrative. How we dress now, how women dress now, how niggas act in the street now, how niggas dress in the street, that's not our narrative. That was programmed into us. That's not our narrative. How we shiesty, how we be on demon time, how we be savages, how we love these terms, that's not us traditionally. That's not who we are. This scarcity mindset that we run on, that's not who we are. If you take a look back, we come from the most abundant continent. The one continent every other country and continent wants to have a hand in. That must tell you something about who you are. That's why I keep saying this narrative that we running on about how we dress, how we act, how we treat each other. This is a narrative. This is a program that we running on. It's funny because today I was talking to this old head, this OG, and my partner. We was talking about Big U. This nigga almost 50, 60 years old, getting caught up in cases about extortion, prostitution over state lines, murder. And it's not like this is old dirt from 15, 20 years ago coming back together. No, this is recent. And to sum it all up, his son got a contract to play in the NFL. And the even bigger kicker is, they from LA and his son play in LA. And you would think, my son playing in the NFL, I done been in the streets for 30 plus years. I done did all I can do. I done did everything you can do. Let me take a step back, you know what I'm saying, and get my hands up at this. And look at it as a blessing I done made it. That's what any logical person would do. That's what we say, any logical person. So it come down to either it's an addiction or he's running off of programming. It's almost like arrested development. That's what I said, it's arrested development. You 60 years old, you 56, you know, me at 50, 60 years old. But you got arrested development because the same goals, dreams, and aspirations that you got now is the same dreams, goals, and aspirations and the things that you was doing when you was in your 20s. And late teens. The same shit that got you excited then is the same shit that got you excited now. You a kid in a grown man body. That's what happens when you refuse to grow. That's what happens when we not holding each other accountable as a community. When we don't pull people's cards, when we don't really call out the bullshit. That's what happens when we don't have our own narrative. We idolize shit like that. Like I said, if you in the streets and you doing your thing, do your thing. But understand, when you wake up, you woke. Understand, God only gonna hold his hand and cover you for but so long. To when this is what you want to do. See, this whole modern thing that we running on, this modern program, like I said, is a program. We got it from programming, TV programming, social media programming. It was programmed. Just like you program your computer, you get a computer, and you put the program on it, the Apple or the Windows or whatever the case may be, you put the program on there, and that's what it run off of. That's what it is happening now, running off a program. How we act and how we behave is not who we are naturally as a people, especially my melanated folks. It's not. We have to write our own narrative. We have to be in control of our own narrative. We wondering why the politicians don't work for us. We wondering why, we keep getting screwed over by Democrats and this and this and this. Because we don't control our own politics. We don't control our own neighborhoods, our own government. Everybody else do. Go to everybody else's neighborhood, guess what? They got their own politicians. And they hold them accountable and responsible. But anybody who can tap dance for us, or anybody who can sell us the best lie, that's who we vote for. And the crazy thing is, we don't hold them accountable. We eat the chicken on Sunday, vote for them on Tuesday, and don't hold them accountable on Friday. Hey, I said, as a society, as people, are we doomed? Are we bound to crumble? Bizound to drizound. Straight up, are we bizound to drizound? And the reason why I say I keep bouncing back, you probably hear it, that I'm bouncing back between my melanated people, my black people, my melanated people, and people as a society as a whole. The reason why I keep bouncing back and forth, is because I believe the melanated people was an experiment. It was an experiment. The lab rats, the test dummies. If we can get it to work on them, and it worked, let's see if we can do it to everybody. If you take a look back at the music, it was only rap and hip hop and all that they let get scandalous and talk about women in any kind of way, put anything on the screen. It was hip hop first. It was rap first. Everybody else kept it clean. Everybody else didn't allow it.
I think the actual mom decided to.
And then what happened? When they figured that worked, they put it on everybody. It's crazy because that's when Kanye said, no, that's not when Kanye said, but it's crazy when Kanye said, it's no longer about racism, it's classism. So if you're still thinking about racism, you in the past. You old news. And it's true. When they started putting the quote unquote poison on everybody, the media or programming on everybody, it no longer went from just racism, the color of your skin, your heritage, your background, all that. That didn't matter no more. The only thing that mattered was, were you able to have your own programming? Were you able to have your own politics? Were you able to have your own government? Were you able to write your own narrative as a people? That's why I believe in traditional values. That's why I believe in people, still holding on to their roots, celebrating their same traditions and not letting them go. That's why I believe in all that. Because it still holds some foundation, it still holds some grounding that you rooted in. Like I said, all this gang culture and all this modern shit, that's rooted in shit that people have learned off of TV. Off of shit that other people thought we think would be cool, that we would like to see, that would be entertainment, and they could get paid from it. And now we running off that narrative. But hey, I say I'm not a super traditionalist, anything of that sort, because I do understand some things rooted in tradition can be, revised. I think that's the thing about it, is you have to have a mix of the old heads and the new heads. To me, I think it's crazy how Congress and all these people are just old people. You have to have new people. You have to have new, middle, old people. You have to see all perspective, all sides of things. If you still running off old programming, then how's you running the country if you, or running anything, any institution, anything off of 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, 60 years programming? Meaning 60 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, you stopped learning and you running off that programming when you stopped learning. How you in Congress or all these financial institutions and you don't know about crypto or don't know about Bitcoin and don't know about this and don't know about that? Yeah, that means you stop, wherever you stop learning, you running off that program. Just like when you stop updating your computer, that's the programming that computer stop running on. So that's what I'm saying, that I believe traditional values, some can be revised. And the modern things, I believe can be done away with. We have to have a mix of both. There's nothing wrong with having a mix of both. But the thing is, we have to come to the table as a people and understand that we are trying to run a machine. We're trying to make sure things are fluent. We're trying to look out for the best of everybody, the whole community, not just one people, not just one person. That's the thing. That's the goal. If you see it any other way, then it's not going to work. It's crazy because if people at the top want to be greedy, want to be fat, whatever the case may be, the easiest way is to let everybody eat. Point blank period. Let everybody eat. Like, if everything was so abundant, you could still be abundant as well. But crazy how power works. That's a whole different topic. So I'm going to wrap it up here. This is your favorite cousin Rich. I greatly do appreciate y'all for listening. I didn't even do the whole intro. I told you I tried like 5, 6, 7 times to get something jumping. This car won't start today. But anyway, it's 6 on the dot. April 1st, 2025. It's crazy that it's April already. I don't know if I talked about that already, but yeah, it's April already. Jesus. All them other times I started recording, I was getting ready to try to say March. My mouth was fixing itself to say March. And it's fucking around to be April. Jesus. But yeah, April 1st, 2025. It's Tuesday. Birds chirping, sun coming out. People getting to it, top of it. Hoping y'all having a blessed and abundant time whenever y'all listen to this. I greatly appreciate y'all for listening. Y'all be safe. I love y'all. Love and blessings. Booyah. Peace.